Hey guys, Shane here. Just a quick update on my Dragon 1/35 scale Brummbar Italian Diorama build. So the vehicle has been fully assembled, painted and weathered. This has been sitting in my my shelf now for a couple of weeks, actually probably about 2 months now. So it's about time I showed you guys. So I think last time we saw this, or last time you saw this model, it was just being primed with Vallejo surface primer, as in the Dunkelgelb base coat was being applied. As you can see now, it's fully painted up and weathered. So the model itself was all painted using Vallejo. So their surface primer, German camo or German armor, dark yellow sprayed as the base coat, made a few highlights, did a little bit of modulation which you can't see. I am curious to try maybe one of AK or MIG's modulation sets, just to see. I'm kind of curious how to do it, and I watched a lot of good tutorials and chatted to Carlos about it, so I might give that a go one of my future builds. So the entire model then was given a kind of an octopus style rock brow, or whatever it's called, the red brown surface primer, which was applied freehand with my airbrush. Then went back over with the Dunkelgelb and basically tidied it up and blended it in a little bit more. This model, as you may recall, has molded on simmers, which is very nice, very finely reproduced, a little bit too regular for as some model makers have said. It's not. Some model makers kind of prefer to do their own homemade simmer because they can make it a bit more rougher. However, though, it's still very finely reproduced, but it also landed me with some issues, which is when you're trying to do pin washes and pin filters, because of the texture of the simmers, it's a little bit hard to get an even look. So I really had to make very, very fine filters to bring fading, and you can kind of see some of the streaking and rain marks I put onto it, just to kind of break up the rather massive box shape of its superstructure. It got very light weathering. I didn't go too crazy with weathering. I didn't want to cover it in dust completely, so I just used some of Tamiya's weathering pigments, as in the small makeup style sets, and just applied it on with a brush. And then with my airbrush, once all the pin filters and panel washes had been put down with oils, I just put a very light but heavily diluted layer of surface primer sand yellow or desert yellow, and built up some sand layers. Of course, I wouldn't do one of my videos without my compressor. Then the tracks went on. These are DS tracks, which I hate. I really don't like DS tracks. I really don't like rubber band tracks. I'm more of a link and length or link to link type of guy, so I'm not a big fan of rubber tracks. Or even though these are DS plastic, and I was kind of Mike Cohen was kind of made some good points about them, that yes, they are, as long as they aren't a bad product as long as they're shipped in the cardboard sleeves. They haven't done that. These ones were, and they were still kinked, even with the cardboard backing that the newer kits don't even have anymore. I would much would have rathered if they were link to link, and I really just didn't want to go and buy an aftermarket link to link set. I just wasn't bothered enough about this kit to do it, which is a shameful thing to say, but that's just how my feelings were on it. I didn't go too mad with stowage, because the photographs I've seen of these weapons and of these machines don't seem to be heavily they don't really seem to be have too much in the way of stowage on these vehicles. I think that's mostly down to the fact that they were support wagons and only brought up in special situations. I'm just going to push this a bit further up so you guys can see the full length of it. I already know that now, sorry. But so in all, it's a good model. I really didn't enjoy making this. It took me a long time. I bought this about 1.5 years ago, and I kind of been building it on and off ever since. You know, I just could not find my mojo with this kit for months, and then all of a sudden, I just got a burst of energy. Also, if you look on the rear deck, you'll see the shores and plates which are actually made out of stainless steel. I could not get them to fit on the actual rails. They wouldn't line up with the pointer. These were actually the hardest thing in the entire model, were the shores and mounting rails. They were just a nightmare to get to line up, and the actual tabs, locating tabs, which are these bars here that come out of the fenders, the shores and plates clip into them. They have a mount at the top and a mount at the bottom, and I could only get one or two of them to fit. So I just to show that the real vehicle had it, I basically and I was just snagging something there. No, I have to snag it. I just mounted them on the rear deck. Also just threw a few road wheels on the back just to help break it up. Also I added a lot of oil washes to the top and to the rear deck, which I'll show you some photographs at the end of this. Also I'll draw your attention to the muffler. I tried my hand at some rust effects, which came out pretty alright. I'm still learning how to do rust. I didn't want it to be heavily rusted, but just have a light kind of rusty hue to it. And that's really it. It was a relatively simple model. There is actually an interior in this. Well, when I mean interior, there's a full gun assembly. There's no magazine or ammo racks or anything like that, but you could theoretically have these large hatches open, especially this very large loader's hatch, and see inside. But to be honest with you, I could not get this gun to line up in its mount, so I actually had to leave the mount out and just glue the actual gun itself directly into the gun mantlet to make the superstructure sit down. And even then it doesn't sit properly. There's actually a bit of a gap, which is a little bit annoying, but such is life. So I'm going to probably take a bit of a break from this now for a while. I haven't really found my second kind of burst of enthusiasm for this, especially when it comes to actually working on the diorama base itself. You really don't want to come at a diorama half-assed. You just won't enjoy it. Though I will show you now in a second what I actually have done for the diorama base, and I'll talk you through what I've done. So that's really it. I hope you like the Brummbar. I think it's one of my nicer, this and the ESV are probably my two vehicles I'm most proud of at the moment. I've learned a lot from talking to many of the talented modelers in the community, and you've all kind of taught me lots of interesting tips and tricks that I tried to implement on this build. I think the next big thing I want to try on my next armour build is probably a bit of modulation, and to try doing a knocked out or burnt out vehicle. That's the big thing on my list, and I think I have the perfect kit in my stash for doing it too. So, before I go off in a tangent too much more, let's go and have a look at the diorama base I've been working on. Okay, so here's the base. You please excuse the shaky cam. There's not enough space for this and the camera. So, I'm not sure if you guys have actually seen this or not. So I'm just going to assume that I didn't put this up before. So the whole thing is just made out of scrap packing foam. I think it's just polystyrene. I actually hate using this stuff. I tried to use the blue foam, the extruded foam, but it's very hard to come by in Ireland. So all I've done is I just made up the basic shape of the Italian hillside, because there's obvious reasons it's based in Italy. So this is kind of how, well, it's actually going to be going this way. So it's kind of traversing a turn, something like that. And then I'll have a few models kind of sitting on the rear deck, looking out. Maybe it's a kind of something like Salerno or Anzio, looking out over to the sea, perhaps, as they move into position. So that's where it is. So just to help minimize some of the big gaps, I just put down some masking tape. And the plan is I'm going to cover this entire surface because this is too easy to be damaged. Also, I need to clad the side of this with balsa wood as well to make it all look nice and pretty. So I'll cover this probably in pre-made or pre-mixed wall filler. That should also harden this quite substantially and also stop it from flaking. And then I'll be adding stones, painting it up, making this look like kind of a rocky face, and taking it really from there. It's going to be quite simple. I am trying to kind of observe the rule of thumb with dioramas, so you try to keep them as three-dimensional as possible and avoid straight lines, which I've kind of broken. I kind of wanted it to be stepped on 3 levels, which it kind of is, but it's not as pronounced as I would like. So I kind of want to keep this diorama base not massively big, because it's already bloody monstrous like. So I kind of originally wanted to have some, like a little stream and some guys sitting down here. Just don't have the space for it, so it's going to be a small dirt road. I might actually put a bit of a stream in, might not. Water effects can always be a bit hit and miss. And kind of going to make some, I'm going to carve some rocks and kind of have this as a little bit of a rocky outcrop. Kind of just think of your stereotypical Italian foothills. So that's what I've been working on, and hopefully you'll be seeing more updates, especially if I get a bit more enthusiasm for this, because it's one of those things is that I have another diorama in the works as well that I've been working very kind of on and off the last couple of weeks, just using bits boxes, and I have 3 little vignettes I'm working on too. So I kind of like to change between the 3 or the 4 and take it from there. It just stops you from burning out, but also I kind of lost interest in this a little bit, but I'm going to get back into it again, don't worry. So this is my long-winded update video for my Italian Brummbar diorama. I really hope you like it. Please do comment, rate and subscribe. Do tell me what you think, and maybe a bit of encouragement so I don't permanently shelf this model. So thank you so much. I really appreciate all the kind words so far from the various videos, and do keep them coming. So thank you so much, lads. Happy modelling, happy gaming, and stay safe, and always watch out for those buses. Bye bye.